promising careers to untimely deaths, these Hollywood child actors had it all, until tragedy struck. Discover the heart-wrenching tales of 55 stars who died too young. Number 55, Anissa Jones. Imagine a childhood dream turned into a nightmare. Anissa Jones, the sweet-faced child actress of Lebanese descent, captured the hearts as Buffy Davis in the hit sitcom Family Affair. From 1966 to 1971, Anissa charmed audiences, appearing in 138 episodes across 5 seasons. Her portrayal of the orphaned girl Buffy became iconic, making her a household name. But behind the scenes, the pressure of stardom took a toll. After Family Affair ended, Anissa's life spiraled out of control. Struggling to transition from child star to adult actress, she faced the harsh realities of a declining career. The spotlight faded, leaving her vulnerable and lost. Tragically, at the tender age of 18, Anissa succumbed to a fatal combined drug intoxication. Number 54, Dana Plato. What happens when the bright lights of Hollywood fade, leaving behind a shadow of former glory? Dana Plato, a name synonymous with the beloved sitcom Different Strokes, knows this all too well. Her journey into the limelight began at the tender age of 11 years old with the television film Beyond the Bermuda Triangle in 1975. Yet it was her role as Kimberly Drummond from 1978 to 1986 that etched her name into television history. After the show ended, Dana faced a harsh reality. The roles dried up. Struggling to find meaningful work, she often found herself in low-budget films or made-for-TV movies. The glamorous world she once knew had turned its back on her. Desperation drove Dana to a life of crime. In 1991, she was arrested for robbing a Las Vegas video store. A year later, she faced the law again, this time for forging a Valium prescription. Despite these setbacks, she never gave up hope of reviving her career. In the spring of 1999, Dana made a public appearance on The Howard Stern Show, hoping for a comeback. But fate had other plans. On a Mother's Day weekend visit to her fiancé's parents' house in Moore, Oklahoma, Dana's life came to a tragic end. On May 8, 1999, she died from an overdose of painkiller Lortab. Initially deemed accidental, her death was later ruled a suicide due to the high levels of drugs found in her system and her history of suicide attempts. At just 34 years old, Dana Plato's life was a poignant reminder of the devastating aftermath of early fame. Number 53, Ricky Nelson. Imagine being one of the brightest stars in Hollywood, only to have your life end in a tragic mystery. Ricky Nelson, born on May 8, 1940, was not just an actor but a heartthrob of his era, charming audiences in The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet and the classic western Rio Bravo. His fame wasn't just limited to the screen. He was also a talented musician, captivating millions with his voice and charisma. Ricky's life took a tragic turn on New Year's Eve, 1985. On that fateful night, a private plane carrying him and his band went down in DeKalb, Texas, engulfed in flames. The crash claimed the lives of Ricky and 6 others. Whispers and rumors swirled around the incident, with many speculating that drug use, specifically freebasing cocaine, had caused the fire. These rumors cast a dark shadow over Ricky's legacy, tainting the memory of his contributions to entertainment. However, the truth was far less scandalous. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board conducted a thorough investigation and found that the fire was caused by a faulty onboard heater that short-circuited and caught fire. This revelation cleared Ricky of the damning rumors that followed his death. In a poignant twist, the last song Ricky performed the night before the crash was Buddy Holly's Rave On, the same song Holly had performed before his own fatal plane crash. Number 52, Scotty Becket. What happens when the pressures of Hollywood become too much for a child star? Scotty Becket's story is one of immense talent shadowed by a tragic downfall. Scotty Becket was one of the cutest, most successful child actors of the 1930s and 1940s. His descent into a life of alcoholism, drugs, and crime remains one of the most tragic of Hollywood stories. Scotty appeared in 15 Our Gang shorts in 2 years. After leading Our Gang, Becket emerged as one of the top child stars of his era, appearing in many films with the top stars of the late 1930s and early 1940s. Among his major credits were Dante's Inferno, 1935, with Spencer Tracy. Part of the young Hollywood set, Becket was a fixture at parties and would frequently be seen with young stars like Roddy McDowall, Jane Powell, Elizabeth Taylor, and Edith Fellows. His nightlife seemed to be becoming more of a priority than his burgeoning acting career, and it started a trend of reckless, irresponsible behaviors which plagued Becket the rest of his life. On May 8, 1968, he checked into the Royal Palms Hotel, a Hollywood nursing home, after suffering a beating in what may have been a drug deal gone wrong. 2 days later, he was dead from an overdose of barbiturates. His third suicide attempt was successful. He left behind a note, a son, and some wonderful films and memories. Number 51, Lorenzo Brino. What led a beloved child actor from a hit TV show to a tragic end? Lorenzo Brino's story is both shocking and heartbreaking. Lorenzo Brino was born on September 21, 1998, in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles, California. He was an actor known for Seventh Heaven, 1996. He died on March 9, 2020, in Yucaipa, California. Brino died after losing control of his car a little after 3 a.m. in Yucaipa and colliding with a utility pole. He was pronounced dead at the scene according to a press release from the San Bernardino coroner's office. Number 50, Miles Ferguson. A rising star with a promising future, Miles Ferguson's sudden death left Hollywood reeling. What went wrong? Miles Ferguson was born on January 3, 1981, in North Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. He was an actor known for Stuart Little in 1999, Highlander in 1992, and Poltergeist, The Legacy, in 1996. He died on September 29, 2000, in Vancouver, British Columbia. Ferguson died in a car accident at the age of 19 years old on September 29, 2000. Number 49, Nick Lashway. Known for his roles in major films, Nick Lashway's life was cut short in a tragic accident. Let's uncover his story. Nick Lashway was born on March 24, 1988, in Washington, D.C., USA. He was an actor known for The 40-Year-Old Virgin in 2005, In Time in 2011, and The Last Song in 2010. Lashway died in a 3-car crash on May 8, 2016, in Framingham, Massachusetts. Number 48, Jared Nathan. A promising talent from Zoom, Jared Nathan's life ended in a shocking accident. What happened that fateful night? Jared Nathan was born on August 10, 1985, in Nashua, New Hampshire, USA. He was an actor known for Zoom, 1997, and Sesame Street, Fiesta, in 1999. He died on December 28, 2006, in Hollis, New Hampshire. He was a passenger in a car that drove off the road and hit a tree in the early morning, fatally injuring him. The 19-year-old driver was charged with aggravated drunk driving. Number 47, Jason Davis. Behind the voice of a beloved cartoon character lies a tragic story of addiction and ultimately death. Jason Davis's tale is one you won't forget. Jason Davis was born on October 14, 1984, in Salt Lake City, Utah. He was an actor known for Rush Hour, 1998, Beverly Hills Ninja, 1997, and Recess, 1997. Davis was a cast member on the 4th season of VH1's Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, which documented his treatment from substance abuse. At the time of his death, Davis was set to appear in the upcoming television series, The Two Jasons. Davis died in Los Angeles, California, on February 16, 2020, at the age of just 35 years old. His cause of death was revealed as the effects of fentanyl. It was ruled out an accident. Number 46, Houston Tumlin. From child star to military veteran, Houston Tumlin's story is one of talent and tragedy. What led to his heartbreaking end? Houston Tumlin was born on December the 27th, 1992, in Pell City, Alabama. He was an actor, known for Talladega Heights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, 2006. He died on March the 23rd, 2021, in Pelham, Alabama. He served in the U.S. Army for nearly 6 years and earned Achievement and Participation decorations as an E-5 sergeant in the 101st Airborne Division. According to his mother, he had post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, and depression after his service in the military. Tumlin died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at his home, unfortunately. Number 45, Bridget Anderson. A child star with a bright future, Bridget Anderson's life took a dark turn. Discover the tragic details of her untimely death. Bridget Anderson was born on July the 11th, 1975, to Frank Glass and Teresa Anderson in Inglewood, California, and grew up in Malibu. She always considered it good luck to have her birthday read as 7-11 rather than as July the 11th. She would always kiss the first 2 fingers of her right hand and then touch any digital clock that read 7-11. As a child star, she played in many films, but most notably Savannah Smiles in 1982. As a teenager, she became involved with drugs and tragically died in May of 1997, aged 21 years old, after overdosing on alcohol and heroin. Number 44, Judith Bart. Behind the success of this young actress lies a chilling and tragic story. Judith Bart's life was brutally cut short in a shocking murder-suicide. Her first commercial was for Donald Duck orange juice, and she went on to appear in anywhere from between 50 and 100 commercials, several episodes of various TV series, and 3 major motion pictures. Her mother, Maria, was the main thrust of her career as a Hollywood starlet, but also took great pains to try to give her a normal, happy childhood, bringing her Hungarian meals like duck for her school lunch. By the time she entered 4th grade, she was pulling in an estimated $100,000 a year, which bought her family a nice 4-bedroom house on a quiet street in West Hill. As her career soared, her father became an increasingly abusive recluse who constantly threatened to kill his wife and daughter. On Wednesday, July the 27th, Eunice Daly, a next-door neighbor, heard a loud bang next door while watering her plants. The house had been set on fire, and later the Bart's bodies were discovered shot dead. All of Judith's toys that were not destroyed by the fire were given to a local Goodwill, and her best friend continued to feed her cats for months afterwards. Number 43, Tommy Page. From pop stardom to a tragic end, Tommy Page's life was filled with highs and lows. What led to his ultimate demise? Tommy Page was born on May the 24th, 1967 in Glen Ridge, New Jersey. He was an actor and composer, known for Dick Tracy in 1990, Latin Boys Go to Hell in 1997, and Shag 1988. He was married to Charlie. Page died on March the 4th, 2017, in an apparent suicide at the age of 46. He is survived by his husband, Charlie, and their 3 children. Number 42, Billy Froggy Laughlin. A beloved member of our gang, Billy Froggy Laughlin's life ended in a tragic accident. Let's uncover the details. His mother enrolled him in a dramatic class to overcome his self-consciousness. His gravel voice was exploited by an MGM talent scout. After his test and positive public reaction, he was signed to a term contract to our gang. His favorite sport was bicycling. After our gang was over, Froggy was riding double on a motorized scooter with a friend delivering newspapers on an old 3-lane highway in La Puente. Froggy was the passenger. His friend John Wilbrand was driving and did a sudden U-turn in the front of a truck that hit and ended up killing Froggy, who died around 6 hours later in the hospital. Froggy's friend John Wilbrand, who was driving, only suffered minor injuries. His older brother Tom said that he was just a normal type of kid in high school, doing well when this accident occurred. Number 41, Bobby Buntrock. A young star in the 1960s, Bobby Buntrock's promising career was cut short by a tragic accident. What really happened? Bobby Buntrock was born on August 4, 1952, in Denver, Colorado. He was an actor, known for Hazel, 1961, Burke's Law, 1963, and Bus Stop in 1961. He died on April 7, 1974 in Keystone, South Dakota. On April 6, 1974, Buntrock died at the age of 21 in an automobile accident when his car veered off a bridge under construction into Battle Creek, drowning him in a submerged car. Number 40, Blake Huron. From a celebrated child actor to a tragic end, Blake Huron's story is one of talent and struggle. What led to his untimely death? The first project he ever booked was for a Rich's department store commercial, followed by various commercials and modeling gigs. Blake landed his first starring role at the age of 12 in the movie Shiloh, 1996, portraying the role of Marty Preston. The movie went on to be well received, and Blake won a Young Artist Award for Best Performance as a leading young actor. Blake has performed in a handful of guest star roles over the past few years on shows like NCIS, New Orleans, Criminal Minds, FX's new John Singleton series Snowfall, as well as various roles in feature films as well. One of the feature films, 1,000 Junkies 2017, was world premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in April of 2017. He died on September 8, 2017, at 35 years old. Blake had a past addiction to drugs since he was 12 years old and once attended rehab for it. Authorities found several prescription drugs but no illegal drugs. Number 39, Raphael Coleman. A former child star turned activist, Raphael Coleman's sudden death shocked many. Let's delve into his remarkable life and tragic end. Raphael Coleman was born on September 30, 1994 in Wandsworth, London, England. He was an actor known for Nanny McPhee in 2005, The Fourth Kind, 2009, and It's Alive in 2009. He subsequently gave up acting, worked as a wildlife biologist, took the name Iggy Fox, and became a climate change activist involved with the group Extinction Rebellion. He wrote that he became an environmental activist after 7 years studying towards his Master's of Science degree in zoology. Coleman died on February 6, 2020 at the age of 25 after collapsing while out jogging. Number 38, Bobby Weezer Hutchins. Another beloved member of our gang, Bobby Weezer Hutchins' life was tragically cut short. But what led to his untimely death? Bobby Weezer Hutchins, named for the wheezing sounds he made on his first day at the studio, became a beloved character in our gang. He played the perky, tag-along little brother, eager to join in the gang's mischief. Tragically, Bobby's off-screen life was marred by his father's harsh attempts to keep him small and employable. James Hutchins malnourished and isolated Bobby, ensuring he never realized other children ate more than he did. This cruel strategy backfired. While Bobby had moments of brilliance on screen, he appeared slow-witted and malnourished as he aged. Consequently, he lost leading roles and ended up as a background player before leaving our gang after the 1933 film Mush and Milk. His film career quickly dwindled, and he made no significant acting appearances thereafter. In 1943, Bobby enrolled as an air cadet and was nearing the completion of his advanced flight training. On May 17, 1945, tragedy struck when he was killed in a mid-air collision while attempting to land a North American AT-6D Texan at Merced Army Airfield Base in California. The other pilot involved suffered only minor damage and landed safely. Bobby Weezer Hutchins' life, filled with early fame and later hardship, ended abruptly at the age of 20, marking a sorrowful conclusion to the story of a cherished child star. Number 37, Chris Trousdale. From boy band fame to a sudden, mysterious death, Chris Trousdale's life was filled with highs and lows. What really happened? Chris Trousdale began his Broadway career at 8, touring with Les Miserables alongside Ashley Tisdale. By 10, he was in the Broadway production with Leah Michelle of Glee. In New York City, Chris joined the Broadway Kids, performing in plays like Beauty and the Beast, Wizard of Oz, and Radio City Christmas. His talent caught the attention of 2 producers forming a boy band. In 1999, Chris joined Dream Street with Jesse McCartney. Their debut album topped Billboard's independent album chart in 2001 and sold 1 million copies nationwide. After 3 years, Dream Street disbanded, and Chris pursued a solo career while finishing his studies at the Professional Performing Arts School. Chris recorded Kissless Christmas and Wild Christmas for the school's Out Christmas album, along with duets with the girl group Play and solo artist Nikki Cleary, which were hits on Radio Disney. However, in 2006, Chris paused his career to care for his ailing mother in Michigan. After a year away, Chris returned to showbiz, starring in the crime thriller Seducing Spirits. On June 2, 2020, Trousdale died at 34 years old in Burbank, California, from complications of an illness. Initially reported as COVID-19 related, his family and managers later attributed his death to an undisclosed illness. Despite the confusion surrounding his cause of death, it's known that a strep infection led to his body shutting down and placing him in a coma. Number 36, Trent Layman. A child star with a bright future, Trent Layman's life took a dark turn. What led to his tragic end? Trent Layman was born on February 23, 1961, in Los Angeles County, California. He was an actor, known for Gunsmoke, 1955, Nanny and the Professor, 1970, and the ABC Saturday Superstar movie, 1972. He died on January 18, 1982, in Pacoma, California. After Trent's career ended, his mother moved the family to Colorado. Trent worked some odd jobs for a while and wasn't interested in returning to show business. After a short time later, he broke up with a girlfriend on bad terms, and he had difficulty coping with her rejection. A few months later, he lost many of his possessions when his apartment was burglarized, and he became seriously depressed. Not long afterward, he decided to stay with an elementary school classmate named Joseph Allen, who had a home in Arleta near North Hollywood, but Allen was away that night. When returning to his home, Allen parked his car opposite the Vena Avenue Elementary School, and it was the school both he and Trent had attended. He noticed a body hanging from the chain-linked fence. It was Trent. He had climbed the fence, tied a belt to the top, and pushed himself off. A suicide note was in his pocket. He was only 20 years old. Number 35, Ashley Aston Moore. Known for her role in Now and Then, Ashley Aston Moore's life ended far too soon. What were the circumstances of her tragic death? Ashley's first acting gig involved wearing a chicken suit for a White Spot restaurant commercial. From there she went on to film The Odyssey, other various commercials, TV and movies. Most notably, Ashley played the role of Chrissy in Now and Then with well-known actors such as Demi Moore, Thora Birch, and Rosie O'Donnell. Ashley's largest role was in Now and Then in 1995, for which she had to pack on 20 pounds. This was a challenge for the 12 to 13-year-old and caused lifelong self-image issues. She had done a few more jobs since then, but after 1997 she decided to stop acting and remain in Vancouver, British Columbia, where many of her family members were located. In December of 2007, Ashley passed away in British Columbia at the age of 26 years old. It is rumored that it was a drug overdose, but it was actually from pneumonia and bronchitis. Number 34, Heather O'Rourke. From poltergeist fame to a tragic and sudden death, Heather O'Rourke's story is both eerie and heartbreaking. What went wrong? Heather was a familiar face on TV in Happy Days, 1974, and from 1982 to 1983. Webster, 1983, which was from 1983 to 1984, and the new Leave It to Beaver in 1983, which ran from 1986 to 1987, as well. 3 shows in which she had recurring roles. In 1986, the highly anticipated sequel for her first movie, Poltergeist, 1982, Poltergeist II, The Other Side, debuted in theaters in 1986. It was her riveting performance in this film that cemented her place in Hollywood history. In January 1987, Heather began to have flu-like symptoms, and her legs and feet swelled. She was taken to the Kaiser Hospital, and they confirmed it was only the flu, but when symptoms continued, They diagnosed her as having Crohn's disease, a chronic inflammation of the intestine. She was on medication throughout the filming of her next project, Poltergeist 3 in 1988, and her cheeks were puffy in some scenes. Heather was well until January 31st, 1988, Super Bowl Sunday. She was unable to keep anything in her stomach and crawled into bed with her parents that night, saying that she didn't feel well. Heather suffered cardiac arrest and died on the operating table at 2:43 p.m. at the tender age of 12. Of all her achievements, Heather was proudest of being elected student body president of her 5th grade class in 1985. Number 33, Samantha Smith. Known for her peace efforts at a young age, Samantha Smith's life was tragically cut short. What led to her untimely death? Samantha Smith was an actress known for Lime Street, 1985, Charles in Charge, 1984, and The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson in 1962. She died in a plane crash with her father during a break in filming of the series Lime Street on August 25, 1985, in Auburn, Maine, USA. First coming to national attention in 1983 when, as a 10-year-old, she wrote to Soviet Premier Yuri Andropov, "Why do you want to conquer the whole world, or at least our country?" The premier was touched by her genuineness and replied that he had no such intention. He then invited Smith and her family to the USSR for a special tour. The bright and articulate schoolgirl became famous overnight. After her death, the Soviet government named a diamond, a rose, and a mountain in her honor. In her home state of Maine, a grade school was named after her, and a statue, showing her releasing a dove while a white bear, representing both Maine and Russia, rests at her feet, was placed before the Maine State House in Augusta. Number 32, Dustin Diamond. Best known as Screech from Saved by the Bell, Dustin Diamond's life was filled with ups and downs. What ultimately led to his death? Well, in 5th grade, he portrayed 8th grader Samuel Screech Powers in the television series Good Morning, Miss Bliss, 1987, which evolved into Saved by the Bell in 1989, and its various television movies and spin-offs. He also appeared in the television series The Wonder Years in 1988. Diamond lost his battle with small cell carcinoma on February 1, 2021, at the age of 44 years old. Diamond specifically outlined his post-mortem wishes, that he wanted neither a public funeral nor a burial. He was subsequently cremated, and his remains given to his father and his longtime girlfriend. Number 31, Jack Wilde. From child star to struggling adult, Jack Wilde's story is one of early success and later struggles. What led to his tragic end? Jack Wilde was discovered by talent agent June Collins, mother of rock star Phil Collins. His breakthrough came when he landed the role of Oliver in the London stage production of Oliver. When it came to casting the film, the role of the Artful Dodger went to Jack, a role that resulted in his getting an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Fresh from this success, Jack was offered the leading role in the American television series H.R. Pufnstuf in 1969. By 1972, however, he was already being demoted to the role of supporting actor for The Pied Piper in 1972. He also appeared in Our Mutual Friend 1976. He returned to films in 2 small roles, The Miller's Son in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991, and A Peddler in Basil, 1998. Wilde underwent surgery for oral cancer in July of 2004 and had some vocal cords and part of his tongue removed. Unfortunately, the cancer proved untreatable, and he died on March 1, 2006. Number 30, Brandon DeWild. Known for his roles in Shane and Hud, Brandon DeWild's promising career ended abruptly. What happened to this young star? Brandon DeWild was born into a theatrical family and made a much-acclaimed Broadway debut in The Member of the Wedding at age 9. He was the first child actor to win the Donaldson Award and went on to repeat his role in the film version, directed by Fred Zinnemann in 1952. As the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Joey was idolized, the strange gunman played by Alan Ladd in the film Shane, 1953, he stole the picture and received an Oscar nomination for his work. During 1953 and 1954, Brandon starred in his own television series, Jamie, 1953, and made his mark as a screen adolescent during the 1960s, playing a younger brother in All Fall Down, 1962, and nephew in Hud, 1963, starring Paul Newman. He managed to keep his career building into early adulthood, but his career was tragically cut short en route to visit his wife at the hospital, where she had recently undergone surgery. While en route, he was killed when the camper van he was driving struck a parked car. He was only 30 years old. Number 29, Robert Knox. A promising young actor from the Harry Potter series, Robert Knox's life was tragically cut short. What led to his untimely death? Robert Arthur Knox was an English actor who portrayed the character as Marcus Belby in the film Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and had signed to appear in its sequel, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. He was stabbed to death in a bar brawl in London on May 24, 2008, while protecting his 16-year-old brother, 4 days after his last scene on Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince was shot. His attacker was convicted of his murder on March 4, 2009. Number 28, Anton Yelchin. Known for his star role in the Star Trek reboot, Anton Yelchin's death was both sudden and tragic. What were the circumstances of his accident? Anton Yelchin was an American actor known for playing Bobby in Hearts of Atlantis in 2001, Chekhov in the Star Trek 2009 reboot, and Charlie Brewster in the Fright Night 2011 remake, and Jacob in Like Crazy in 2011. Outside of his acting profession, Anton loved reading and was also fond of playing chess. He wrote music and performed with a band, where he also played piano and guitar. Anton lived in Los Angeles, California until his death on the evening of June 19, 2016, outside his LA home, when his parked Jeep Grand Cherokee rolled backward on his steep driveway, pinning him against a brick pillar and security fence. This was due to a badly designed shifter that indicated park when it was actually in neutral. This death, along with reports of other near misses, resulted in a recall of that model. Number 27, Christopher Pettit. From child star to tragic end, Christopher Pettit's story is one of early success and later struggles. What led to his untimely death? Christopher Pettit began his career as a child actor, making appearances in television series, made-for-television movies, and films. He starred in 2 hit flicks, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, 1991, and Point Break, 1991, and then joined the cast of the Western TV series The Young Riders, 1989, as a young Jesse James. After the cancellation of The Young Riders, his acting career began to wane. According to his manager, Bob Villard, Chris was just about impoverished, living on small residual checks. He went to a couple of AA meetings and never admitted to a drug problem. Sadly, he died of an accidental drug overdose just 2 months after his 24th birthday. Number 26, Corey Haim. A beloved 1980s teen idol, Corey Haim's life was filled with success and struggles. What ultimately led to his death? Corey appeared in 26 episodes of the early 1980s Canadian series The Edison Twins of 1982. He broke into the film industry in 1984, playing a young child caught up in a family war in the movie Firstborn, 1984. In 1987, he had a breakthrough when he played one of the major roles, Sam Emerson, in Joel Schumacher's The Lost Boys, 1987. His last 2 films were The Hostage Game, 2010, and Decisions, 2011. Corey Haim died suddenly on March 10, 2010, in Burbank, California, of pneumonia. Number 25, Rusty Hamer. Known for his role on The Danny Thomas Show, Rusty Hamer's life after fame was filled with struggles. What led to his tragic end? Rusty Hamer, a highly talented child actor, gained fame at the age of 5, trading clever quips with Danny Thomas as his smart alecky son, Rusty Williams, on The Danny Thomas Show, 1953. The sitcom also starred Jean Hagen as his mother and Sherry Jackson as his sister. By 1964, at 17 years old, the end of the show left Hamer out of work. His transition from child star to teen actor proved difficult, and offers dried up. Despite taking acting classes and working various jobs, he struggled to find direction. In 1976, Hamer left Hollywood for Louisiana to care for his Alzheimer's-stricken mother. His life quickly unraveled as he faced financial difficulties and took on menial jobs, including working on oil rigs, delivering newspapers, and cooking at his brother's cafe. His poverty and the stark contrast to his early fame led to deep depression and alcohol abuse. On January the 18th, 1990, suffering from chronic back pain, depression, and delusions, Rusty Hamer tragically ended his life with a gunshot. He was only 42 years old, marking a heartbreaking end to the life of a once celebrated child star. Number 24, Gary Coleman. The iconic star of Different Strokes, Gary Coleman's life was filled with highs and lows. What led to his untimely death? Gary Coleman was the quintessential child TV star of the late 1970s and early 1980s. His confident demeanor and distinctive appearance, influenced by congenital kidney condition, made him a beloved figure on screen. However, as he grew older, he faced significant challenges in maintaining his career. The combination of his health issues and the harsh realities of the entertainment industry contributed to a turbulent adult life. Coleman's fame from Different Strokes waned, and he struggled with legal and financial difficulties. He became increasingly bitter and defensive as his once thriving career faded. This decline was compounded by the so-called Different Strokes curse, which also affected co-stars Dana Plato and Todd Bridges, both of whom faced their own tragic downturns. In 1989, Coleman successfully sued his adoptive parents and business manager for misappropriating his earnings, winning $1.28 million in settlement. Unfortunately, this settlement was quickly consumed by taxes, legal fees, and ongoing medical expenses. By 1999, Coleman declared bankruptcy and worked various jobs outside the entertainment industry. After undergoing heart surgery in 2009, Coleman faced further health complications. He suffered a heart seizure in February of 2010 and ultimately died on May 28, 2010 from a brain hemorrhage caused by a fall. His death marked a tragic end for a talented yet troubled star who once brought immense joy to television audiences everywhere. Number 23, Glenn Quinn. Known for his roles on Roseanne and Angel, Glenn Quinn's life was filled with promise and tragedy. What led to his untimely death? Quinn was born in Dublin, Ireland, and moved to the United States with his mother and two sisters in 1988. His first role was as a pool shark in the Richard Marx video Satisfied. He later landed a major role in the John Travolta film Shout, 1991, where he shared a screen kiss with Gwyneth Paltrow. He went on to have roles in a number of other movies and television series. But his most notable roles were as Becky's husband, Mark, on Roseanne, 1988, and half-demon Doyle on the WB's Angels, 1999. Unfortunately, he died of a heroin overdose in 2002. Number 22, Stephen Gately. A member of the popular boy band Boyzone, Stephen Gately's life ended suddenly and tragically. What were the circumstances of his death? Stephen Gately was born on March 17, 1976, in Dublin, Ireland. He was an actor known for Billy Elliot in 2000, the Rocky Horror Tribute Show in 2006, and Watership Down 1999. He was the co-lead singer of the pop group Boyzone. All of Boyzone's studio albums during Gately's lifetime hit number 1 in the UK, their third being their most successful internationally. He died on October 10, 2009, in Majorca, Balearic Islands, Spain. Gately died at his home in Port d'Andratx, Mallorca, early on October 10, 2009. His body was discovered later in the morning. His death was later determined to have been caused by a pulmonary edema resulting from an undiagnosed heart condition. Number 21, Michelle Thomas. Best known for her roles on The Young and the Restless and Family Matters, Michelle Thomas's life was cut short by a rare disease. What happened? Michelle Thomas played Betsy Brown on stage in Philadelphia. She also appeared on the CBS soap opera The Young and the Restless, 1973, as Callie Rogers. On The Cosby Show, 1984, as Justine Phillips, the girlfriend of Theo, played by Malcolm Jamal Warner, and on Family Matters, 1989, as Myra Monkhouse, the girlfriend of Steve Urkel, played by Jaleel White. In August of 1997, Thomas was diagnosed with a rare cancer, an intra-abdominal desmoplastic small round cell tumor, or DSRCT. Thomas never smoked or drank alcohol and was a vegetarian. Thomas underwent surgery to remove a lemon-sized tumor in early 1998 and subsequently was cast on The Young and the Restless. She underwent surgery again in October of 1998. After being released from the hospital, Thomas flew home to New Jersey to spend Thanksgiving with her family in Weehawken, New Jersey. On December the 23rd, 1998, at the age of 30 years old, Thomas died as a result of a desmoplastic tumor. Number 20, Austin Majors. Known for his role on NYPD Blue, Austin Majors' life ended tragically at a young age. What led to his untimely death? Former child star Austin Majors, known for his 7-season run as the young son of star Dennis Franz's detective Andy Sipowicz on NYPD Blue, Majors received the Young Artist Award for Best Performance in a television series for his compelling work on NYPD Blue. His work on Treasure Planet earned him another nomination for Best Performance in a voiceover role. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office listed the cause of death for Austin as fentanyl toxicity and a manner of death as accidental. According to the report released, Majors was 27 years old at the time of death. Number 19, Raphael Miguel. A child prodigy known for his role in Chiquitas, Raphael Miguel's life ended in a brutal and tragic manner. What happened? A child prodigy who conquered viewers for his role as Pachoca in Chiquitas 2013, Raphael Miguel is also best remembered due to his hilarious TV commercial where he breaks down in despair when his mother doesn't buy him broccoli at the market. The commercial launched his career in many TV series, 2 films, and a miniseries. After Chiquitas 2013, he took a break from acting, but sadly returned on TV and on the news due to a tragic event. On the afternoon of June 9, 2019, a month shy of his 23rd birthday, Raphael was brutally killed by his girlfriend's father at their house. His parents were also murdered in what would be a simple conversation between both families to discuss the couple's relationship. However, the girl's father didn't offer them any chance, shooting all 3 and fleeing the crime scene. Number 18, Eddie Hassel. Known for his roles in The Kids Are All Right and Surface, Eddie Hassel's life was cut short in a shocking crime. What were the details of his death? Eddie Hassel was born on July 16, 1990 in Corsicana, Texas. He was an actor known for The Kids Are All Right in 2010, Surface, 2005, and 2012, 2009. He died on November 1, 2020 in Grand Prairie, Texas, USA. According to his representative, Hassel was shot in the stomach Sunday morning around 1:50 a.m. in Grand Prairie, outside of his girlfriend's apartment, in what appears to be a carjacking, although the incident is still being investigated. The Grand Prairie, Texas Police Department has confirmed that the motive for the shooting is unclear and there is currently no suspect in custody, but a car was taken from the scene and later recovered. Hassel's manager says that Hassel's girlfriend was in her apartment at the time he was shot and did not see the assailant. Neighbors came to Hassel's assistance and called emergency services, but he died at the hospital. Number 17, J. Madison Wright. A talented actress from Earth 2, J. Madison Wright's life was filled with medical struggles. What led to her untimely death? A pretty youngster who enjoyed dressing up and was very much a girly child, Madison began modeling at the age of 5 years old. Her interest in modeling and acting, something she shared with her younger sister Victoria, led the Wright family to relocate to Los Angeles, and in 1994, Madison had her acting debut aged 9 in the comedy Grace Under Fire, 1993, where she ironically played a small role as a snotty child model. Madison's big break came a few months later when she won the role of 10-year-old True Danziger in the science fiction show Earth 2, 1994. Although the show was short-lived, Madison thoroughly enjoyed the chance of playing such an interesting character. By 1999, Madison was losing her interest in acting, and she entered her mid-teens, and her family decided to move to Kentucky for a fresh start away from the hustle and bustle of Los Angeles. Unfortunately, it was discovered she was suffering from cardiomyopathy, a very severe condition that leads to the degeneration of the heart muscles, and the only hope of recovery was a heart transplant. Madison and her family were then forced to spend long periods of time in Cleveland, where she was being treated, although their traveling expenses were eased when they were offered a room at the Ronald McDonald House near the hospital. Luckily, after a few months on the donor waiting list, she was admitted to the Cleveland Clinic, where she received a heart transplant in March of 2000 at the age of 15 years old. Sadly, on July the 21st, 2006, only a few days after marrying medical student Brent Morris, she died of a heart attack. Number 16, Darla Hood. The beloved star of Our Gang, Darla Hood's life was filled with joy and tragedy. What led to her untimely death? Darla Hood began her journey with Our Gang at just 2.5 years old. Discovered by Hal Roach's agent, Joe Rivkin, she quickly became the leading Rascals actress, starring in 51 short films and a TV movie. Her tenure as the most popular Little Rascals actress spanned from 1935 to 1941. After World War II, the series attempted a revival, but Hood had outgrown her role. Transitioning into a teenage actress proved challenging, and her career struggled. At 17 years old, she married Robert W. Decker and formed the vocal group Darla Hood and the Enchanters, providing music for films like A Letter to Three Wives, 1949. She also performed in nightclubs and on TV variety shows, and found success in voiceover work for commercials, notably Chicken of the Sea. In 1957, Hood divorced Decker and married her former manager, Jose Granson. Together they had 3 children. Despite remaining active in show business, her career never fully revived. Tragically, Hood's life ended on June 13, 1979, at 47 years old. Following an appendectomy, she contracted acute hepatitis from a blood transfusion, leading to her congestive heart failure. Her death marked a sad end to a life once filled with promise and joy. Number 15, Brad Renfro. Known for his breakout role in The Client, Brad Renfro's life was filled with early success and later struggles. What led to his untimely death? Brad Renfro was born July 25, 1982 in Knoxville, Tennessee, to Angela Denise McCrory and Mark Renfro, a factory worker. He was discovered at age 10 by director Joel Schumacher and was cast in the motion picture The Client, 1994, which starred Susan Sarandon and Tommy Lee Jones. Although this would be his zenith, he went on to appear in other films, including The Cure, 1995, Tom and Huck, 1995, Sleepers, 96, and Appointment Pupil, 1998. Renfro won the Hollywood Reporter's Young Star Award in 1995 and was nominated as one of People magazine's top 30 under 30, though addiction problems in his teens and early 20s led to several police arrests and hampered his career. He died unfortunately of a drug overdose in January 2008 at age 25 years old. Number 14, Jonathan Brandis. From The Never-Ending Story 2 to Sequest DSV, Jonathan Brandis's career was filled with promise. What led to his tragic end? Born in Danbury, Connecticut, to Greg and Mary, Jonathan Brandis began his career at age 5, acting in several television commercials. He also appeared in small parts in several films and TV shows, before his first starring role in the 1990 film The Never-Ending Story 2, The Next Chapter. He starred in popular films such as Ladybugs, 92, and starred as Lucas Wollensack in Steven Spielberg's television series Sequest 2032 in 1993. He doubled up his high school courses so he could finish a year early for his role in Sequest. After his career stalled for a bit, he was hoping his role in the serious drama film Heart's War 2002 would relaunch it. However, most of his scenes ended up being cut from the finished film. This caused him to fall into a deep depression, in which he would drink heavily and tragically end his own life on November 12, 2003. Number 13, Carl Switzer. Best known as Alfalfa from Our Gang, Carl Switzer's life was filled with both fame and tragedy. What led to his untimely death? Carl Switzer was an American child actor, singer, dog breeder, and hunting guide from Paris, Illinois. He became famous for portraying Alfalfa in the film series Our Gang during the 1930s. His character was one of the most memorable characters ever portrayed in the series. Later in his career, Switzer's acting roles were limited to bit parts and appearances in B-movies. He supported himself through other lines of work. Switzer was fatally shot by an acquaintance over a money dispute. The circumstances of his death are disputed due to contradictory accounts by the shooter and by an eyewitness. Number 12, Julie Patzwald. A talented actress known for her roles in Disturbing Behavior and The Guard, Julie Patzwald's life ended in a tragic manner. What happened? Julie Patzwald was born on March 11, 1980, in British Columbia, Canada. She was an actress known for Disturbing Behavior, 1998, The Guard, 2008, and Shattered, 2007. She later committed suicide in April of 2012 while residing in Vancouver due to the fact that she had been suffering from chronic pain. She guest starred in more than 30 series, for which she was twice honored with Leo Awards for Best Actress. Julie was also one of Vancouver's most highly regarded acting coaches. Number 11, Skye Bartusiak. From The Patriot to Don't Say a Word, Skye Bartusiak's promising career was cut short. What led to her untimely death? Skye Bartusiak was an American child actress and child model. She appeared in The Patriot, 2000, Don't Say a Word, 2001, as Rose Wilder in Beyond the Prairie, The True Story of Laura Ingalls Wilder, 2002, the series 24 in 2002 to 2003, Boogeyman, 2005, and Kill Your Darlings, 2006. Bartusiak died at the age of 21 in her apartment behind her parents' home. While her mother, shortly after Bartusiak's death, stated that she believed that her daughter's history of epileptic seizures might have had a role to play in her death, the coroner ruled the death resulted from an accidental drug overdose, though. Number 10, Jansen Paner. Known for his roles in The Perfect Game and The Martial Arts Kid, Jansen Paner's life ended suddenly. What led to his tragic death? Jansen Paner was an actor and writer known for his roles in the films The Secrets of Jonathan Sperry, The Perfect Game, The Martial Arts Kid, and How High To. He has also provided several voice roles, including Periwinkle in the 6th and final season of the Nick Jr. children's live-action animated TV series Blue's Clues, young Stripes in Racing Stripes, young Rodney Copperbottom in Robots, Truman X in the Nickelodeon animated TV series, The X's, and Shovelmouth, Boy in Ice Age, The Meltdown. Jansen died from an enlarged heart. Though it offers little solace, the medical examiner reported Jansen's sudden passing was due to cardiomegaly, or enlarged heart, coupled with aortic valve complications. Number 9, Bobby Driscoll. A Disney star known for Peter Pan and Song of the South, Bobby Driscoll's life was filled with highs and lows. What led to his tragic end? Bobby Driscoll was a natural-born actor, discovered at the age of 5.5 in a barber shop. His career spanned 17 years from 1943 to 1960, featuring notable roles in The Fighting Sullivans, 1944, Song of the South, 46, So Dear to My Heart, 48, and The Window, 1949, which earned him an Academy Award in 1950 for Outstanding Juvenile Actor. His final major role was as the voice and live-action model for Disney's Peter Pan in 1953. As he grew older, his career faltered. His once charming appearance and voice no longer suited for roles. He faced legal troubles and addiction. In October 1961, he was sentenced as a drug addict. After his release in 1962, Driscoll sought a comeback, but his criminal record and reputation hindered his efforts. By 1964, he moved to New York City, hoping to revive his career on stage, but found no opportunities. His final appearance was in Pierre Helleser's short Dirt in 1965. Driscoll then vanished into the underground, financially and emotionally depleted. On March the 30th, 1968, 2 children found his body in an abandoned East Village tenement. Unclaimed and unidentified, he was buried in an unmarked pauper's grave on Hart Island, marking a tragic end to the once bright star. Number 8, Kevin Alexander Clark. The talented drummer from School of Rock, Kevin Alexander Clark's life was cut short in a tragic accident. What happened? Kevin Alexander Clark was born on December 3, 1988, in Highland Park, Illinois. He has played the drums since he was 3 years old, but didn't take private lessons until the 5th grade. He was so skilled in his performances that each one demanded a standing ovation from the audience. Kevin was an active member of the Highland Park High School's concert band and also part of its jazz bands. Not only did he have his drumming career mixed together with his acting career, but he also formed his own garage band where he played the drums and a little guitar and bass when needed. Kevin composed several original pieces on the computer and on guitar. He was introduced to acting at the age of 13, playing one of the rocking kids, Freddie Jones, in Paramount Pictures' School of Rock in 2003 with Jack Black and Joan Cusack. The film had a number 1 opening weekend, October 3, 2003, in the United States, and ended up grossing $81 million domestically. While Kevin never appeared in another film again, he continued drumming in Chicago-era bands, most recently Jess Bess and The Intentions. Kevin died at age 32 on May 26, 2021, in Chicago, after being struck by a motorist while biking in the city's Avondale neighborhood. Number 7, Jacqueline Leduc. Known for her roles in Clue and 15 Love, Jacqueline Leduc's promising career was cut short by a tragic accident. What happened? Jacqueline Leduc was born on January 8, 1986, in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. She was an actress known for Evolution Worlds 2002, Kaloo 1997, and What's with Andy 2001. She and her 15 Love 2004 co-star, Vadim Schneider, were killed in a car accident on September 8, 2003. They were on their way to the set of 15 Love in Saint-Césaire, Quebec, when their minivan lost control and slammed head-on into a tractor-trailer. They were killed instantly. They were both 17 years old. Number 6, Laurel Griggs. A Broadway star known for Once, Laurel Griggs' life was filled with promise. What led to her untimely death? Laurel Griggs was best known as the longest-running Ivanka in the Tony Award-winning Once, the musical on Broadway. She performed the role for 17 months from 2013 to 2015, in addition to attending school full-time. She made her acting debut as Polly in Rob Ashford's celebrity-studded Broadway production of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof in 2013, starring Scarlett Johansson. In addition to theater, Laurel has done numerous commercials and voiceovers. Her reputation is as an incredibly professional child who respects her craft and others. Laurel has also donated her time to numerous charities, including Broadway Cares, Equity Fights, AIDS. She has been called the secret weapon for her collection abilities. Laurel lived in New York City with her parents, Elizabeth Rivlin and Andrew Griggs, and her dog, McLeod. Elizabeth helped manage Laurel's busy schedule, and Andrew is a special events director, best known for his work at the Roxy, New York City, producing major concerts and corporate events. Laurel attended public school in Manhattan and loved music, reading, swimming, singing, ice skating, playing with friends, and, of course, watching movies and television. Unfortunately, she died at 13 years old of an asthma attack at her Manhattan apartment. Number 5, John Paul Stoyer. Known for his roles on Grace Under Fire, John Paul Stoyer's life ended tragically. What were the circumstances of his death? In 1993, 9-year-old John Paul Stoyer was cast in the role of Brett Butler's son Quentin Kelly on the ABC sitcom Grace Under Fire. In May 1996, John's parents abruptly pulled him from the show, saying that they felt the show was not a good environment for their son, citing Brett Butler's substance abuse, frequent rehab admissions, and her overt sexual behavior towards 12-year-old John. In 2003, John took the stage name of Johnny P. Jules, formed the glam punk band Kill City Thrillers with 4 other musicians and became the lead singer. In 2011, John became the 5th member of a Portland-based punk rock group called Problems. John remained with the band until his death. In March 2015, John became partners with chef Sean Sigman and invested in a vegan restaurant in Portland, Oregon, called Harvest at the Bindery. The restaurant thrived for almost 3 years. On January 1, 2018, at the age of 33 years old, John Paul Stour died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound at his home in Portland, Oregon. Number 4, Sawyer Sweeten. A beloved star of Everybody Loves Raymond, Sawyer Sweeten's life ended tragically. What led to his untimely death? Sawyer Sweeten was born on May 12, 1995, in Brownwood, Texas. He was an actor known for Everybody Loves Raymond, 1996, Frank McCluskey, CI, 2002, and Earl Stevens, 2000. On April 23, 2015, Sweeten died due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, 19 days before his 20th birthday. His death prompted public tributes by his Everybody Loves Raymond co-stars. His on-screen father, Ray Romano, was shocked by the news and said he was a wonderful and sweet kid to be around. Number 3, Matthew Garber. Known for his role as Michael Banks in Mary Poppins, Matthew Garber's promising career was cut short. What led to his tragic death? In 1963, Garber came to the attention of actor Roy Dotrice, father of Karen Dotrice, who was seeking potential child actors. Roy recommended Garber to the casting department of the Disney Company, where young Garber's artful dodges, like squinting, screwing up his nose, and brushing his hair back with one hand, were thought likely to make him stand out. He was cast in the film The 3 Lives of Thomasina, 1963, as the character Geordie McNabb, a playmate to the Scottish girl Mary McDougall, played by Karen Dotrice. Garber next received a bigger role as the character Michael Banks in Mary Poppins, 1964, one of the 2 charges of the protagonist's nanny. Jane Banks, Michael's sister, was played by Karen Dotrice. The film was the greatest hit of Garber's career and is the role for which he is remembered the most. In 1967, Garber had his 3rd and last film role as the character Roddy Winthrop in The Gnome-Mobile. In the film, Rodney and his sister Elizabeth Winthrop, played by Karen Dotrice, are trying to prolong the life of a 943-year-old gnome who has lost the will to survive. Following his brief film career, Garber returned to his school studies. In 1976 and 1977, Garber was in India and contracted hepatitis. He returned to London in June of 1977, seeking better medical treatment. It was too late, unfortunately, as the disease had infected his pancreas. He died soon after, the official cause being hemorrhagic necrotizing pancreatitis. He was only 21 years old. Number 2, Andrew Koenig. Known for his role on Growing Pains, Andrew Koenig's life ended in a tragic manner. What were the circumstances of his death? Andrew Koenig was born August 17, 1968, in Los Angeles, California. He was an actor and director known for Inalienable, 2007, Batman Dead End, 2003, and Growing Pains, 1985. Andrew died on February 14, 2010, in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Unfortunately, he hanged himself on a tree in the middle of the forest of Stanley Park in Vancouver, Canada, on February 14, 2010. Andrew had previously gone missing after being clinically depressed, turned down several jobs, and cleared out his own apartment. Number 1, River Phoenix. A promising young talent whose life was cut tragically short. River Phoenix's story is one of incredible talent and heartbreaking loss. By age 10, River was acting professionally on TV. His film debut was in Explorers, 1985, followed rapidly by box office success with Stand By Me in 1986 and The Mosquito Coast, 1986, and as young Indy in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1989. His role as Danny Pope in Running on Empty, 1988, earned him an Academy Award nomination as Best Supporting Actor. His best role was probably Mike, the Hustler, in My Own Private Idaho, 1991. A dedicated animal rights activist and environmentalist, River was a strict vegetarian and a member of PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. River was a talented musician as well as an actor, and he played guitar, sang, and wrote songs for his band, Alika's Attic, which also included his sister Rain Phoenix. Although the band never released its own album, their song Across the Way can be found on PETA's Tame Yourself album, used to fight animal abuse. River was in the middle of filming Dark Blood 2012, playing the character Boy when he died. The film couldn't be finished due to too many unfilmed crucial scenes. His mother was later sued. River died of acute multiple drug intoxication involving lethal levels of cocaine and morphine at the age of 23 years old outside the Viper Room, Johnny Depp's Los Angeles club. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more intriguing Hollywood stories. Check out our other videos on tragic celebrity stories and untold Hollywood secrets. See you next time.